Welcome to the Virtual Ball Boys podcast. My name is Chris, and I am joined by my good draft analyst, Chet Avery.
You know, I'm still not too sure about this Starry stuff.
Starry? What's?
Yeah, you know, they replaced Sierra Mist. Now it's Starry.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Still not sure what I think about it.
Have you had it, Chet?
Drinking it right now, the zero sugar one, because I gotta watch my blood pressure.
Oh, okay. That's good. That's good to monitor that
Yeah.
frequently. Well, I'm not sure about Starry, but what I am sure about is that we are, at least when we're recording this, a week away from the 2023 NFL Draft. I believe it's in Kansas City this time.
Yeah, that's where it is.
Yeah. It has been like the past few years. It's been kind of this frequent thing where I've kind of zoned out a lot for this draft cycle. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to bring much of my own insight, but that's why we have you, Chet, to come to the table and give us the definitive draft. I believe last year, Chet, you as you have done every year, you went at the very least 30 of 32 in all your picks.
Yeah, I mean, when you make as many drafts as I have, they're gonna hit.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, you are almost always perfect, and honestly, like I think that the draft takes up a lot of time. All you have to do is
more like Matt Kuiper, am I right?
Right. I think that the draft takes up a lot of time. It's 3 days long. You know, it's a lot of just sitting and waiting and anticipating for the next pick and after the next pick. And it's just like, you know what? Just listen to this episode, which will be around an hour long, and you're good. You don't need to even pay attention to the draft because Chet Avery is going to put you in the direction where you're going to know who where all the prospects are going to go. So not a single flaw whatsoever. How are you doing, Chet? Like, how's life been in general though for you?
It's been good. Today's 420.
Yes.
And it's 4:20 Central Time here in Texas. So
yeah,
it's perfect timing for the weed. I don't participate myself, but if I did, I would be high this entire time, and you wouldn't be able to stop me.
Are you straight edge, Chet?
No, I do hard cocaine. Yes, I'm straight edge.
Okay. Oh, you are.
Fuck off with that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought I was gonna be like, oh, okay, cool. You do cocaine, good.
Shit will fuck you up. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Oh, I am sure.
Jeez.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to hear you're with me in the straight edge club. We are. Yes, we are very cool. Anyways, let's. I'm glad to hear that everything's doing well with you.
Not gonna see me with a fucking vape. Are you shitting me? God damn.
That's the worst of our kind. Is the vape?
That's the worst. If you vape, you suck.
That's a little mean, but you know what? You know what? All the people who vape out there that are fans of ours, just take the joke. It's okay. We don't actually read it. Anyways, let's get into the draft. It's been an exciting build-up. This was going to include some news in this episode, but really nothing has happened. Like, the two major storylines that we were kind of covering in the last podcast, like, nothing has transpired on either of those fronts. Like, Aaron Rodgers is still a Packer right now. Lamar Jackson's still looking for a contract. The only new things that happened were OBJ to the Ravens, and Dan Schneider is no longer going to be the owner of the Commanders, which is a big deal. Don't get me wrong.
Thank God.
That is
Jesus.
That is a really good. That is good news all around. Maybe bad news for your Cowboys though, Chet. If the Commanders start being good because Dan Schneider is
that's a stretch. Come on. Come on.
Anyways, but and then like earlier this week, Allen Robinson was traded to the Steelers. All right, like that.
All right.
I'm sure that there's other news stories, but who gives a shit?
Snore.
Everyone is focused on the draft. let's jump in. The number 1 overall pick is now owned by the Carolina Panthers. We talked about it in the last episode if you want to hear our reactions to the trade, or at least myself and Matt's reaction. Matt, by the way, he walked outside today, and snakes came up and chased him back into his house, and he's just he's in quarantine to the point where he could have. I mean, technically, he's in his home. He could record, but the snakes. They already bit the wires to the microphone that he uses, and so he can't record. And so it just, and also you could be like, well, maybe he could at least be like, use like a different type of mic. Actually, they just bit the wires to all his computer equipment, so he can't. There's just no way he can record. But he will be back. He's okay. The animal control is on the case. We'll be taking down those things.
That new Joel McHale show. I like that guy.
And there is. So the Carolina Panthers are the number 1 overall pick. Chet, this I not to project, but I would imagine that they're going to go quarterback here. The question is, which quarterback?
If you think some fancy-pantsy Alabama guy's going to be picked before the C.J. Stroud from my glorious institution, The Ohio State University, you don't know football. You don't know football. C.J. Stroud is going to be our first overall pick.
Okay.
Out of OSU.
Now I will say that is great to see C.J. Stroud go to the Panthers. I considering it felt like in the last few weeks the trend has been moving towards a lot of
smokescreen.
Bryce Young at the Panthers, but you think it's a smokescreen?
I think it's a smokescreen. I think they're trying to fuck with the Texans.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. Well, and now, the Texans. There's rumors that they might trade down because they may not be that high on C.J. Stroud, which is kind of wild that they would avoid picking a quarterback. But now Stroud's off the board and Bryce Young is still sitting there. So what do the Texans do with number 2, Chet?
Bryce Young is, of course, going to be there because C.J. Stroud's going to be taken first, and the Texans will get their guy.
There you go.
Won't be as good as C.J. Stroud, but he'll be pretty solid. Bryce Young at number 2 to the Texans.
Okay, all right. So there you go. So the 2 guys that have been projected to go 1 and 2 looks like, according to Chet Avery, those guys will be going 1 and 2. Makes a lot of sense. Excited to see how it transpires. But now the interesting.
Never in my goddamn life will you see me have someone from Alabama go first overall.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's
you don't know me if you think I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, no, that would be extremely offensive for all of us to have to experience. So then we move to number 3, the Arizona Cardinals, and this is where the draft might get interesting here, because Cardinals looking for a trade partner. It seems like they might have someone jump up to get a quarterback in this position. But for now, we're assuming that they keep the pick, and they have basically every other talented position to pick out for. Who do the Cardinals go and pick?
I think that the Cardinals are going to take the best other player in the draft, and even though he's from Alabama, I do think that Will Anderson is the best player in this draft.
All right.
And he will be taken by the Arizona Cardinals, much to his dismay.
Yeah, that's the biggest punishment that you can give an Alabama player right now is to send him to the Arizona Cardinals in the shape that they're in.
Jesus Christ! Oh my God!
Yeah, we haven't even touched on the fact that the Cardinals have like accusations against the owner right now coming out. Against them, and just it's a complete and utter mess that the Cardinals are going to be going through. So have fun, Will Anderson. All right, here we go. Number 4, the Indianapolis Colts, who now have a pick. They could go down the quarterback lane, or they could pick another strong defensive player potentially, or maybe not. Maybe you have something else in mind, Chet. But who do you have at number 4 going to the Colts?
So the Colts traditionally, to me, usually have quarterbacks that are not dynamic, not exciting. Even though they had Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck, they're really, really good quarterbacks. They're not dynamic, exciting quarterbacks in the same way that, a lot of the youth is nowadays.
Sure.
So that said, I think that they are going to flip their own script, what they're used to, and draft quarterback Anthony Richardson.
There you go. That feels like one of the biggest sleeper quarterbacks in this draft. I say sleeper, even though like he's probably gonna be a top 5 pick, but like it feels like a lot of people are like super high on him, that he could potentially be a day 1 starter, and it's gonna be interesting to see who ends up with him in this draft.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be the Colts. So I already know the answer. It's gonna be the Colts because
it will be the Colts. I'm telling you right now.
Chet Avery told me, so therefore I believe. Anyways, we move on then to number 5, the Seattle Seahawks, who got this pick from Denver when the Russell Wilson trade worked out very well for the Seahawks, and now they once again have a choice of a lot of different players. They could go quarterback here, certainly an option, but they have a lot of different players that they could have get behind Geno Smith here. Who do you have at number 5?
Geno Smith got a lot to him. Very impressed by him. Glad that he's out of that hellscape that is New York. I would love to see some support for him. However, the rule state is when you trade your franchise quarterback, you got to use one of those picks to draft someone with the same last name. So Tyree Wilson is going to the Seattle Seahawks.
Tyree Wilson. All right, cool. All right, so then that's your second defensive player off the board.
Mm-hmm.
So I think as of right now, Jalen Carter's still on the board. You still have Will Levis and Hendon Hooker on the board for the quarterbacks. Let's see. You have basically all the cornerbacks, all the wide receivers, and running backs all still on the board as we move on to number 6, the Detroit Lions, a team that has become one that is very easy to root for, a team that is in this position because they traded Matthew Stafford. This is their second of their 2 first-round picks that they got back for him at the time, and so now, Chet, where do the Lions go with their pick?
So, last year the Lions were all offense, no defense. They got to add on to their defense this year. There's no other way that they're going to be able to survive this season without a little defense. And what's the best way to stop scoring points than prevent the opponents from catching passes? Devin Witherspoon to the Detroit Lions.
Very nice. Very nice. A University of Illinois guy, which I'm sure, Chet, you as an Ohio State fan must really hate Illinois.
You say that like there's any sort of rivalry. Like there has to be some sort of like.
There's a trophy. Isn't there a rivalry trophy?
Yeah, but like we've held on to it for like the past 15 years. It's not really that big of a rivalry when one side wins all the time.
I know.
It's like not that important. Like if you're trying to equate it to fucking Michigan,
sure. Yeah.
No chance.
Yeah. So
no chance.
So it's more that you just kind of like pat Illinois on the head while you punch the shit out of Michigan.
Yeah, you tried. You got a really good defense. You had a really good defense this past year, Illinois.
Yeah. Okay. All right, fair enough. So then there you go. That's number 6. And now we go to the Las Vegas Raiders, who are always the enigma. They signed Jimmy.
Traded.
Yeah, whatever. However way they acquired Jimmy Garoppolo, they got Garoppolo. And so that's what's going on with the Raiders in terms of the quarterback room. It's a quarterback league, so that's the storyline that we're going to lead into. But of course, as always, Raiders need defense. It's the thing that they need the most, or maybe they need some weapons as well. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I think the weapons are probably the strongest part of this team. But Chet, what do you think about the Raiders?
I think that the Raiders were trying to get Devin Witherspoon, and they really, really wanted him, but just missed out. You snooze, you lose. So I believe that they're going to go with the next best quarterback in the draft, Christian Gonzalez.
Okay, there you go. Out of Oregon. Very nice. And then we move on to number 8, the Atlanta Falcons, who loaded up in free agency. Been doing a lot of different work. Where do you think the Atlanta Falcons are going to go with their pick?
Yeah, see, this is another very interesting one. I think that Arthur Smith is a huge fan of people who are similar in name. So he's going to choose Nolan Smith to help with his defense.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay. And then we get to the Chicago Bears, who, of course, this was the pick that the Carolina owned before they traded it to Chicago. So now Chicago, who is obviously not looking for a quarterback, unlike how people were thinking earlier in this offseason in a very stupid fashion.
You got an Ohio State quarterback. What more could you want?
Yes. So now it's the Bears have plenty to pick from. Where do you think they go?
Well, Justin Fields cannot do the entire offense on himself. He needs a lot of protection. They figured out a wide receiver. Great. DJ Moore, I think, will be a fantastic addition, even if he is from a Big Ten junior in Maryland, doing well in the NFL. I think this will be a good fit for him. However, all eyes are going to be on Justin Fields, and I think that the Bears will have another option for the run game. The Bears are going to draft Bijan Robinson.
Wow.
It's a spicy take, I know.
It's spicy, but
spicy.
I kind of like you. So you don't think that who do they have right now at running back? I mean, maybe that
Deonta Foreman, Khalil Herbert.
Well, Khalil Herbert, he played well last year.
They did play well. It's not a huge need, but the upgrade.
Sure.
That Bijan would provide would be out of this fucking world.
Yeah, all right.
Bijan next to Fields, they don't need an offensive line. They're going to run the ball a shit ton.
I do think you might need the offensive line regardless, but hey, that's fair. I understand where you're coming from. I do enjoy the pick though. I think it would be fun to see Bijan Robinson go in the top 10. I think that's a spicy fun pick right there.
They got some more picks to get O-line with,
Yeah, absolutely. All right, number 10 is the Philadelphia Eagles. This was the New Orleans Saints pick. I forget why this would trade happen. I think this
it was a weird trade because the Eagles came out better.
Was that C.J. Gardner-Johnson trade?
I believe so.
Yeah. Okay. That's that. I was trying to remember why these two had an exchange in any way, shape, or form. Anyway, so the Eagles are picking 10, so that's a good to have after for a team that is as successful as they are right now, having just come off a Super Bowl appearance. So what do you think? I mean, there's definitely some places that the Eagles could go, but this is already a kind of loaded team.
It is a loaded team, and I think that this is finally where Jalen Carter will come off the board. Despite being, a really high talent, I do think that the off the field stuff is what will cause him to fall this low. But the Eagles will not be able to pass on his talent here.
Sorry, repeat who it was again?
Jalen Carter.
Oh my God! Yes, that's gonna be the steal of the draft if the Eagles.
If he gets things figured out and he gets back into shape, but
yes,
great pick for them regardless.
Yeah, no, it does seem like the major the major storyline around him having was charged, and then I forget were the charges dropped or were they not spoken for yet?
I am not fully sure on that.
Yeah, but regardless, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes. I thought I read a story that the charges were dropped. That might be someone else entirely, to be honest with you. But regardless, that would be a fascinating pick to see them go down that route.
Absolutely.
All right, let us move forward to number 11, the Tennessee Titans, who I think we've talked about on here before, or at least on the podcast, that it does feel like the Titans might be moving into a rebuild zone. But Chet, do you think that there is a player that they could draft now that could help them win now?
See, the thing with the Titans is they are in a perpetual state. And I think that they're going to keep themselves in this state in perpetuity. That's a really hard word to say, you know. So, I think that they will try to continue their perpetuity, and they are going to draft Will Levis.
Oh, okay, cool.
Because he comes from the same state.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Just clarification on the Jalen Carter thing. It was that the charges were not dropped. It was that he pleaded no contest to the misdemeanor charges, and he will serve no jail time. Is what what has been made clear. So it seems like maybe at worst it might be some sort of probation or fine, but the no jail time for Jalen Carter. Anyways, Will Levis to the Titans is another very interesting, maybe a little spicy pick. I it does make sense though. I mean, you're kind of reaching a transition point, as we've talked about. Like, it's a team that I think can no longer be competing every single year. It seems like things are starting to fall apart for them at the end of last year, and maybe it's time to start from scratch. And yeah, Will Levis seems like a good project for them moving forward. Yeah. All right, number 12, we return to the Texans. This used to be the Cleveland Browns pick, and now the Texans at 12. So who do they pair Bryce Young with?
You know, you gotta protect him a little bit. Some weapons may be nice. However, I do think that the protection is going to be the main focus here for the Texans. They will be drafting Peter Skoronski.
Is that a left tackle or a right tackle?
I believe a left tackle. I just wrote O tackle.
Okay. Yeah, because they do have Laramie Tunsil there still.
Well, now they got two left tackles. I don't see what the issue is. Extra protected on the left side. Play 12 people. What are they gonna do?
There's two lefts. They have two lefts that they have to pick. All right, cool. But hey, you know what? Like Larry Tunsil has been in the league for a while now. You get someone that is young that could develop behind a veteran like Tunsil. And you're gonna probably have a really nice project, a nice future overall for left tackles in general. All right, number 13, New York Jets, who are still awaiting their quarterback to actually arrive in Florham Park. So the assumption right now is that Rodgers is not or is going to be the Jets quarterback. So then they're not going to target a quarterback in this draft. So what's the plan for New York here?
I think the best plan for New York here is to just they don't have many holes other than quarterback, So I guess they're going to draft Darnell Wright.
Okay, there you go. Now see that we talked about two lefts, and now we got right.
Now we got it right. Two lefts make a right. If you turn enough.
If you turn enough times, yeah. There you go. So then the number 14 overall is the New England Patriots, who, of course, they have at least a few holes, especially on offense, to worry about. What do you see the upteeth year of Bill Belichick? How do they start this draft here?
Well, if you didn't know, Chris, Bill Belichick is a really big fan of Dancing with the Stars.
Okay.
Especially their host. So he's going to try to get some of that Dancing with the Stars magic on his team by drafting Matthew Bergeron.
Tom Bergeron hasn't hosted Dancing with the Stars in years.
Well, that's the level of that. Those are the episodes. Those are the seasons that Belichick is
he
is
just
fond of.
rewatches
You
the
think he
same
watches
seasons.
the new shit?
He doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't. He doesn't like the Tyra Banks version. He's just
No,
very much.
God.
He's very much. He sticks to the Tom Bergeron seasons. Hardcore. Fair enough.
Same with America's Funniest Home Videos.
Right, he does not like Carlton.
No,
No, sorry.
not a Fresh Prince fan.
Yeah, sure. All right. Pick number 15, the Green Bay Packers, who of course gonna go into the season with Jordan Love as leading their team. And how funny would it be, Chet, to have this team finally draft a wide receiver or a tight end in this first round after many years of people saying that they should fucking do that for Aaron Rodgers.
I think it's incredibly important to help develop young players, right?
Sure.
And we've seen consistently that as soon as young quarterbacks get a really talented weapon, they tend to flourish.
Sure.
So the Packers are going to be drafting the best wide receiver in the draft, Ohio State's Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Yep, that's incredible. That if there is any doubt in the Green Bay Packers New York Jets trade at this point, like, Aaron Rodgers will burn down the facility of the Packers in Lambeau if that's what it takes to get him out of Green Bay. If that's the move that they make, because that's fucking hilarious. That is just inherently amazing.
It would be the funniest possible draft pick of all time.
And you know what? It's probably gonna happen.
It's possible. It is so possible to happen.
It's really... Well, actually, you know what, Chet? You said that it was gonna happen. So
I said it's gonna happen, so it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
We will have more draft picks to read out to you. But before we keep going, let us tell you about our sponsors.
Sick of talking about video games with people who just want to be toxic? Me too. So join us over at the Gaming Coop. We come together each month to talk about what we love about video games. Discussion topics range from our favorite soundtracks to the best relationships between characters. We also have some fun segments in which we play some trivia or build our school of gaming. Find us on Anchor or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Game on!
And we are back. All right. It is time for the Commanders, who, yes, as we mentioned earlier, has a new owner, the owner of the 76ers. I believe Magic Johnson also has a stake with the Commanders now, if the deal goes through. So that's all well and good for getting rid of Dan Snyder. So they have traded out with a new owner, but what piece, Chet, are they going to take with their first pick in this new era of Washington?
I believe that, the Washington sits at a capital city, and they're going to be looking only at players who share names with capital cities for countries around the world. So Paris Johnson will help out Sam Howell.
Very nice.
On the offense here.
Very nice. There you go. Next up, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like we said, maybe the most interesting moves of the off season for the Steelers was the Allen Robinson trade at this point. But yeah, this is a team that no matter what, Chet, the Steelers always end up winning enough games to keep Mike Tomlin with a winning record at the end of every single year. So what player is going to help him achieve that once again?
And if that's their floor, 9 wins is their floor, at least 50%. That's great for them. I think it's going to continue. Joey Porter Jr. is going to help them do that.
That's a great pick. That's a fun pick.
Yeah,
very good. All right, Detroit Lions. We're back up to them. So earlier they got a cornerback, and now do they go back to that? Do they really stack up their secondary, or do they go in another direction?
What did I tell you earlier, Chris?
I forget what you said earlier, to be honest.
All offense, no defense last year.
Right.
And they only have a couple first round picks. They're doing a little bit to help most of them. Only a couple, right? So they got to get a lot out of it. They got to get Miles out of their picks. So Miles Murphy is going to be a Detroit Lion next year.
Very nice. I'm gonna be real with you, Chief. This is the part of the draft where I have to completely check out because I don't know any of these players.
You need thicker skin.
I know. That feels. I don't know if it's thicker skin. I maybe just need to watch more content.
The skin is what holds your brain in.
Okay, fair.
I mean, it holds your skull in, and that holds your brain in.
Right? Yeah, I was gonna say the skull is maybe the more important thing to be the brain holder.
But if you have thicker skin, it helps the skull hold your brain in.
But is it when people say that you have a thick skull that you're being like hard-headed and dumb?
That's why your skin is thick and not your skull.
All right, moving on. The number 19 pick. This is all right. So we're starting with our playoff teams here. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are now without Tom Brady. It feels official that I mean, if he does come back, it's probably not even going to be with the Buccaneers at this point.
No, it's gonna be for the fucking Dolphins or some shit. Get out of here, Tom.
Yeah, there's...
We know what you want to do. You want to become a Dolphin. You want to follow in Jay Cutler's footsteps.
Everyone wants to follow Jay Cutler's footsteps. Anyways, the Bucks are going to they could be in the market here for quarterback. The only quarterback left though is Hendon Hooker. But they do have a few other places that they could fill if they just want to roll with Baker Mayfield and whoever the other guy is. Kyle Trask. Just completely forgot who he was. Into next season. So, what do the Bucks do here?
I do think they could see some time to see, at least take a season to see who they have at quarterback. Their defense is not as good as it has been historically recently. So I think that they're going to help out drafting Drew Sanders.
Okay. Drew Sanders out of what school? Oh, Arkansas. Okay.
So, Arkansas.
Yes. The great, not at all stupid state, Arkansas.
That took a lot out of you.
I'm just gonna fade away into the darkness here, just taking a weird pot shot at Arkansas and then just fade away. All right, the Seattle Seahawks at number 20 here. So this is their second pick of the draft. So yeah, they started out draft defensive player. Where to next?
I think that their defense is another thing that they are going to be looking at, and what better than another cornerback help them slow down the pass? Not another cornerback, but a cornerback to add to their team.
Sure.
I believe this person will one day be the highest paid player in the NFL. That is Deonte Banks out of Maryland.
I see. Because he's got break the bank, essentially. Very nice. So there you go. The start of the Legion of Boom era is back, baby.
It's coming back.
All right. Los Angeles Chargers at number 21. I feel like they've done nothing. I feel like I've not heard anything about the Chargers this offseason. Maybe I'm forgetting.
Just wait.
Yeah, all right. So
it's gonna be big.
Hit me with this massive move.
All right. So they have some fantastic wide receivers. However, they've had some injury problems. So I think that they're going to be adding to their wide receivers. In fact, my next 3 picks are all wide receivers.
Oh, tease.
And the Chargers are going to be taking Jordan Addison.
Very nice. All right, so the USC guy goes to the Los Angeles Chargers. Very, very cool. That So yeah, that's a good support, Justin Herbert. But what about Lamar Jackson? I mean, it does feel like he's gonna probably be a Raven because no one wants to give him any sort of new money, I guess.
Nope.
And so Lamar Jackson's gonna have OBJ, Rashad Bateman, and who else?
They're going to add Quentin Johnston.
Okay, very nice. And then you're saying the Vikings are going to draft a wide receiver. That's interesting. So that are you doing that because of Adam Thielen departure? Or that it feels like that's going to be
that is part of the reason. I do not think that I do believe that they need another wide receiver next to Justin Jefferson.
Sure.
While I don't think this guy will be as good as Justin Jefferson, I do think that it will be great for when for Kirk Cousins to have some more support.
Yeah.
So, they will be drafting Zay Flowers.
Very nice. Zay Flowers.
Which is a name that feels like it's been an NFL player for years already.
Yeah, there's been a lot of Flowers and a lot of Zays, I feel.
A lot of Zays and a lot of Flowers. Yeah. We finally put them together.
I gotta say, like, I again, very much in the dark with a lot of draft picks. Especially with specific positions. Zay Flowers has been one that's been on my radar, though, because I've seen a lot of highlights of his time. I believe he's Boston College, right? That's where he's comes from. Yeah. And he's a very good player, and so I feel like that would be a very nice thing for the Vikings to have. They just need to, get a defense, and maybe they could compete. Anyways, the Jacksonville Jaguars are next. This team feels like it's ready to take a leap with the players that they have now, but it's nice to add someone in the draft. Who will that be, Chet?
Doug Peterson strikes me as a really big Beatles fan, so I think he's going to draft Kelly Ringo.
Very nice. Yeah, to be fair, though, I don't think anyone's favorite is Ringo.
There's a joke about like someone asked like, oh, is Ringo Starr the best drummer in the world? And someone replied, Ringo Starr is not the best drummer in the Beatles.
Yeah. Woof.
Yeah.
Ouch.
The most I know about Ringo Starr is from that one Simpsons episode.
Yeah,
where Marge writes letters to Ringo Starr.
He's just around. He's just just doing his thing.
He's alive.
Paul McCartney, he's everywhere. He's still playing his music, and he's still being a great solo artist. Who knows where Ringo is right now?
England, probably.
Yes, you're right. You know what? I think you know so much that is probably very accurate, Chet. That he's probably in England right now. The New York Giants at number 25. Chet, you and I are I guess rivals. I don't see it as much that way. Because I don't think that like kind of how you feel about OSU v Illinois. I feel about the Cowboys v New York Giants is I just think the Cowboys just usually always have the Giants' number.
We do.
Some exceptions here and there, but not, generally speaking, and it's just I don't really see it as a rivalry as much. So you gotta supply me with someone good here, right?
Right. So like here's the big thing about the Cowboys is that we have a problem. We have a huge problem right now.
What's that?
Massive problem. We don't have a Dalton on our team anymore.
Oh. Wait, did you skip the Giants pick?
I did. I did. Okay. You started talking about the Cowboys, and that's all where my mind went.
Sorry,
you can't do this to me.
Sorry, I teased you. I led you astray.
You teased me. You
got come back to the Giants first, and then we can
come
move
back
on
to the Giants
to the Cowboys.
You should already know who I'm doing for the Cowboys now. Anyway, so the New York Giants. I think that the New York Giants this year are really going to lean into the Wall Street aspect of New York City. And to help out with that, they're gonna draft Emmanuel Forbes.
And what position is that again?
Defensive back.
Oh, okay, cool.
but his last name's Forbes.
Yes. No, I was more concerned about trying to figure out what position he plays.
Just for your own.
Yeah, just for my understanding of like what we're drafting, because I'm into that. We need a secondary. Is a big old issue. But yeah, cool. Emmanuel Forbes, I'm down for that. So now, who's this Dalton you're taking for the Cowboys?
Dalton Kincaid, tight end.
There you go. There's your first tight end of the draft. Very surprised considering how loaded this draft is apparently with tight ends.
Yes, this is a very loaded tight end draft, but you never know with tight ends. They can be really good or really stinky.
Right. Yeah. You had to. They could either be really tight or really loose. Yep. It's hard to. You can either be a wide. They're either more wide receivers or more tight ends.
Okay, we get it, but.
All right. Anyways, the Buffalo.
Buffalo
Bills.
Buffalo Bills. I think that they are a pretty solid team all throughout. I think that the one thing they need is a good running back to kind of like fill in that room.
Yes.
And so I believe that they will be drafting Jahmyr Gibbs.
Very nice. Very nice. Had to hold your nose for it, right? Because he's an Alabama guy.
It's this down late. It's whatever.
Oh yeah. You just don't like it in the glory. I get it.
No, they don't get the first overall pick.
Number 28 here is the Cincinnati Bengals. What are you thinking here for the Bengals? Spruce up that offense a little bit more.
Yeah, in fact, another team that feels pretty solid in all that they've got. So. I believe that the Cincinnati Bengals will be replacing Hayden Hurst and drafting Michael Mayer.
Okay.
For tight end.
There you go. And then we have the Saints, which this pick has gone around.
Yes.
Most recently was with Denver, but then Denver traded it to the Saints in as part of the deal to get Champagne as their head coach. So the Saints are now at number 29. Originally was the 49ers pick. What did the Saints do with this pick? Because they haven't actually picked yet in this draft.
It's surprising because sometimes you just forget things. Like Sean Payton is the Denver Broncos head coach.
Yeah. Yep.
But I think that the Saints are drafting the player who. Based on name alone, is most likely to have a Jazz career on the side. They're going to draft Broderick Jones.
Very nice. Definitely a sax player.
Oh, absolutely.
Definitely a sax player.
Oh, that vibe is nailed extremely well.
All right, you got the Philadelphia Eagles. They got a potential steal of the draft with Jalen Carter. Mm-hmm. Where do they go next?
I think that they're going to draft another edge. And really just make that defense good. Will McDonald.
Ooh, okay.
The fourth.
Cool. All right, so then, and now we have reached the final pick. There is not 32 picks in this draft because Dolphins owner is a fucking idiot.
There's a lot of idiot owners in the NFL, huh?
There's a lot of really dumb people in power. Boy, if only someone could do something about that. Oh, wait, we can't. We're doomed. Anyways, pick number 31, Kansas City Chiefs. So they've just come off the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
What are we thinking here?
I think that some of the best things that you can do is continue what works well. What works well for Kansas City is drafting a wide receiver and barely using them. So I believe the Kansas City Chiefs will draft Jalen Hyatt.
Very nice. Very nice. And that's how you close out the first round of the draft. So if you like I said, you are 30 for 32. I think that everyone should go back and listen to every single one of our draft episodes, and make sure you like them, and rate them, or whatever the fuck the podcast services are doing at this point. And you should listen back to how perfect Chet Avery tends to be.
You know they are.
So but now we're in a weird position here because it's 31 picks.
Right.
So,
right.
In your opinion,
I'm gonna get all 31, but you can give me 29 and I'll be good.
Yeah. Okay. So all right. So yeah, we're thinking 29 out of 31 is the projection, is the line to get, and we'll see if you can do that or better, because we know you have it in you, Chet. Yeah, Chet, thank you so much for tuning in. So what's next for you now? I mean, the draft's going to be over next week, and I obviously you want to probably look at what's next, what's to come next year. But
of course,
what's where are you going to end up? What are you going to do with your life for post draft here?
Well, I've always wanted to go to Cabo.
Yeah.
So I may spend the next year there.
Okay.
Brush up on my Espanol. Sure.
Yes, and it sounds perfect. That word right there. That sounds like spot on.
Well, I haven't talked to the owl yet. If you if you catch my drift.
Are you talking about Duolingo?
Yeah, that's like the easiest app to learn languages, right?
Okay, yes, it is.
That's like a normal thing that people do, is learn languages through Duolingo.
Yeah, but just know that Duolingo will stalk you at night.
Yeah, but you know what? I have a thumb that can hold down the app and make him shake in terror. So who's really winning here?
That's what they look like. They do look like they're scared to be deleted. Now I'm gonna feel bad deleting apps off my phone, because they do look like they're shaking in fear of being deleted.
You should not gain a sense of fear. You should gain a sense of power.
Sure. Oh boy.
You have the control.
I was gonna ask you if you were thinking about doing a darkness retreat, but you might not need one.
Why would I need one? That's the stupidest shit I've ever heard.
Fair enough. Well, thank you, Chet. This has been great as always, folks.
I hope I have enlightened you.
You have graced me with your presence and have educated me on this year's draft. So therefore, Thursday is completely free for me. I don't have to pay attention to the draft. I could go out.
Yep.
Do
you
other
already
stuff.
know what's gonna happen.
And when I say go out and do other stuff, I'm probably gonna stay at home and play more Rhythm Heaven. I mean, that's just what my life is at this point. I wanted to say, folks, we are going to be back post draft to recap everything. When I say post draft, probably like a week after. We have that and the schedule release coming up in May, and so we'll be doing that in May. We're also going to start picking up and doing our formal draft for the VUBFL, and then formalizing everything for the new season of that, as we spend the summer with you playing a bunch of football games, and me and Matt will be back. The snakes will be tamed, and he will be able to leave his abode. Maybe Remy took care of them. I mean, there's a chance for that Remy would take down some snakes.
Who knows?
But anyways, thank you all so much for listening, and we will see you in a couple of weeks.
Bye. Virtual Ball Boys has been brought to you by Team Chaos Productions. Find us on Twitter at Virtual Ball Boys, and find more of our work at Team Chaos Pods.